This is the first time that we are seeing something like that. It's crazy. Also, guys, we do not own any shares in Revenue Group, and as usual, now what we say is financial advice, purely educational. Alright, guys, special announcement. This Thursday on the 12th, 8:30 p.m, we'll be producing a session on Master Pack Berhad. It's up 27% since we covered it in our FIRL Pro program, which is a very exclusive program. But we thought we'd pick this stock out to share it with you guys and share some of our interesting findings. So I hope to see you there. Right, Jonathan, very exciting news somewhat.
Yep.
In a negative sense of the word.
Yep.
Revenue Group is down, I think, 46% over the past 6 months. But a big chunk of that is a 25% drop from the 4th of January until the 6th. And
things doesn't
what
look
is
good.
happening? What is happening?
So before we get into the details, I think for those who don't know what this Revenue Group does, is that they are a payment gateway, that kind of things. They like do touch and go. They collaborate with TNG, the Alibaba payment, Alipay, and all those stuff. Yeah, so like they are the middleman kind of thing, the merchant. Yeah, helping the merchant and the consumer to do transaction. But anyway, so this is a quick fact. They are IPO'd in 2017, and back then their market cap is about 82 million or 17 cents per share. Technically they are still up. If you compare to today's price, so they are up like I think 3 times.
Yep.
And yeah, they have all of their business operations are in KL and JB. And they are founded by these 3 wonderful individuals, Eddie, Ng Chi Siong, Brian
I believe Dino. I met 2 of them, Dato Eddie and Dino before.
Right.
Dino was a very interesting person because he's a very quiet guy when I met him.
Right. Okay.
And he had a ponytail.
Okay, yeah. I can tell also from the picture.
So that's quite rare.
Okay, so this is a shocking one. So if you've been paying attention to the news, actually Revenue Group Berhad reported to Bursa that they suspended 2 of the directors. Sure. And these are the 2 directors that got suspended, which is on the picture. And the reason why they are suspended, initially they didn't really disclose the reason, but after that they did. So this is the reasoning. On the 5th of January, they kind of like say that these 2 individuals, they barge into the office, they steal some documents. And basically they enter into the office illegally.
Yeah.
And then so Revenue Group kind of like reported them as like a theft because you are stealing stuff. And then subsequently, I think that is like day 4th of January. Then I'm not sure whether this is the same day. Okay, it's the same day. At 4:25 p.m, they brought 4 more unknown people into the office without the access card. So they barged in again into the office.
To break in.
Yeah, and then they stole another 30 boxes of document. So it's like a mess. I don't know what's happening.
Well,
but yeah.
Why didn't they create, I guess, I don't know, PDF version of those documents? So
right?
That's
actually pretty interesting.
Or maybe it's a bit awkward to scan, but someone will have the soft copy, right?
I hope so. Right? I hope so. Please, Revenue Group.
They're not doing it on a typewriter, I assume, right?
Yeah.
So that's very weird. And certainly, I think before we jump into big conclusions, it's important to know that this is from the perspective of the other side, which is Revenue Group in this case. And they are pinpointing these 2 directors as essentially very difficult people. But it will be interesting to see on the other side. But from the fact that something has happened like that, or if it didn't happen, the fact that Revenue Group would post something like that means that
something serious is...
I think there is no way back for me.
Correct. Okay, actually this all happened. There's actually an early telling signs. So number 1 is the CFO resigning on the 28th of November. So that incident happened on the 4th of January. So it's like a 2 months ahead kind of thing. And interesting is that Mr. Adrian Liao, which is the guy, the CFO that resigned, he actually joined Revenue Group on March 2022.
That's so soon only, right?
Yeah. And then he got appointed on May 2022. And he resigned and November 2022.
Oh.
So everything is happening within the same year. I don't know what's happening in that how many time span, like 6 months. Yeah, his 6-month tenure as a CFO.
CFO resigning is very similar to auditors resigning.
Yeah, correct.
Right, because they know how things are going, and CFOs are generally more liability focused, meaning they're more conscious of liabilities, especially their own liabilities. So
yeah, maybe something to do with finance, maybe not also.
Yeah,
it
we
could
never
be something
know.
internally, so we never know.
course.
And another thing is that after the incident, right, they kind of changed their address already.
Okay.
Their company address. So initially they are at the Shah Alam, Dataran, PHB. Then they changed to their new one, which is at Mid Valley. So hopefully Mid Valley is going to be safe for them. And another thing is that they did an immediate shuffle in board. They kind of
this is right after the CFO or right after?
Right after CFO. Right after CFO. No, right after the incident.
Oh, this is fresh.
Yes. So it's like this is announced on the 6th of January.
Wow.
So there's this individual, Mr. Leong Ka Chen. He's actually an ex-CEO of GHL System.
Yeah.
From 2014 to 2020, and he joined after the incident. And then Mr. Oi Guan Ho also, she is appointed as an executive director. And another individual over here who's actually previously a non-executive chairman, and he's now promoted as an executive chairman. So there's like a whole new executive director already replacing Mr. Dino and Mr. So yeah.
Ugly, man.
Yes, this is pretty ugly. Okay, and another interesting sign is that this individual has been disposing their stock for quite some time. Actually, there has been history like they have been selling their stocks, reducing their stake in the company. Not sure why is this. I initially thought that maybe they found another new substantial shareholder, like for example, like Khazanah or EPF or some sort of people, big people. And then because this business also is very lucrative, right? So I thought they're going to come in, but I don't really see any sign of them coming in or adding their stakes. So that is a pretty interesting state then. Why are they actually trying to get out of the company? So yeah, it's actually another early sign also that say that something is wrong with this company.
But guys, before we move on, if you're someone looking to level up their stock investing skills and you need a lot more guidance, we do have a one-on-one program called the Mentorship Program. If you're interested, you can apply it in the comment section or the description.
Okay, so I think let's go to their financials instead. So financially, they reported a loss for the first time ever since IPO. Yeah. So that's something that's pretty bad. Reason why is the loss is because the administrative expenses is increasing. And also partly is because I think revenue did not increase as much as they thought they can. So that's why they
cost of goods sold, cost of sales as well.
Yes,
so
correct.
This is a business problem.
Yes, correct. Yeah, they have to I believe in our previous sharing on revenue group.
Yes,
we did an analysis. So the reason why they are actually difficult to compete with market share is because I think because there's a lot of competitors that is offering like EDC terminals also and renting.
Yeah.
So the only way to capture market share is actually to reduce their selling prices. So it's a
cost won't change as fast as price. Won't drop as
it's
fast.
a cutthroat business lah. You have to.
Yeah, I think part of the issue is that when they IPO'd, they showed great financials, and then also they're pretty good, right, man? It was something like a darling in 2020, 2021, and for good reasons at that point in time. But as you can see, profits always attract competition, and that's why it's very helpful to always ask yourself, even when the stock is doing well, what can go wrong?
Yep.
And of course, it wasn't popular to ask that question in 2020 and 2021 because everything was going on.
Yep. Okay, so I think I don't need to say much about this because their profit is loss-making. Cash flow wise is also have been dropping quite a lot from compared to last year. They make about 7.4 million. Now it's like 510,000. Yeah.
Big jump.
Sad. Okay, so the final takeaway is that
we have more questions than answers, actually.
Yes, correct.
Right.
But I think this is the three major questions that I'll ask. So what's the internal issue all about? I mean, this is very sudden.
Yes.
Nobody actually expected this to happen.
Yes.
Like the whole chaotic inside the office, like budging
and
in
why
and everything.
why are those documents so important?
Yeah.
right?
Correct.
I mean, is this information regarding how they got the deal? Could it be that perhaps the other two founders had a different cut on certain deals that they don't want to reveal, and that now the other founder, Dato, wants to bring this to light? I mean, it's definitely, there's something hidden inside there. The fact that you will bring in, again, with the assumption that what revenue group reporting is true. And but the fact that you send 4 men, it's really, really, it's using
and
violence.
Don't forget, and they are also brothers. So it's gonna be like a family issue. So it
Chinese
could be
New Year is in 2 weeks.
It'll be an awkward reunion with dinner. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, but then the second reason is why is the CFO resigning? One of the reason is because the finances, there's something wrong with it. Don't know what's happening. Maybe it's the internal issue that caused him to resign. So that we don't know. And the third reason, the third question that we would like to ask is why is the major shareholders pulling out? I think this is the question that we have actually also asked in the last video. Still cannot figure why they are actually pulling out. But this is something that you need to know before actually dabbing a feet or even investing into revenue group.
Berhad. And as a rule of thumb, when it comes to a middleman kind of business like revenue, you have to be careful that people on the ends, i.e. not in the middle, will want to cut them out or to produce something on their own, because it's middleman, right? It's adding costs. I wouldn't say unnecessary costs, but the cost is only specifically for that, in that period where the technology transitions into something more efficient, where it does not require whatever revenue group is doing, right? With their terminals and things like that. So that's going to be hard. And with all the innovation that's happening in the payment space, I think Apple Pay is coming into
there's a lot of disruption.
There's a lot of disruption. So again, my key takeaway is that, so one of the things that people try to figure out, a lot of investors and even seasoned investors, is that, that's why we need to know the management very well, right? See the reason, right? Let's say if I bought this and it goes down, the reason I lost money on stocks is because I didn't know the management or I didn't know the personality. I think that's very difficult, because I think even if you meet them, right, they can put on a show. Yeah. Right? Like I met them, and honestly speaking, in the few times I met them, I don't see any issues, right? I wouldn't think that, one of them will be sending 4 men without access card to barge into the premises. Secondly is that one of the things I've always told people to figure out fraud is this. Always ask yourself whether or not the business is in a good space. Because think about what fraud is, right? When someone commits fraud, whether it's a Ponzi scheme or anything, right, that to do with business, is because they don't believe that the business is going to make them more money than the fraud. A good business will pay you way more than, right? I mean, you look at all the richest people in the world, they own businesses. So why would someone want to commit fraud? It's because they genuinely believe that the business is not going to do well, but there are certain things they can do in the short run to make it look good and faster get out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So when you apply into this situation, if you understood the business and you knew that they were disruption, then that's why you see selling happening, which then leads into presumably a lot of infighting. And that's when the CFO resigns and all these issues pop up.
He actually said everything perfectly. But before we leave,
as usual, if you want to figure out how you can find stocks that are not like that, or at least more often than not like, we do get it wrong as well. Go check out our FIRL program, right? These are very short and sweet reports that will tell you all you need to know, or 80 to 90% of what you need to know for a company before you decide whether or not it's something you're interested in, figuring out further. You can check out a free sample of these reports. This is also our returns as of December. So this is August to December, right? So it's done pretty decent.
I believe the overall portfolio,
14%.
Yeah,
right?
14 to 15.
14%. That's a really great return in a difficult market, but luck was involved as well. And of course, If you are still not very convinced, you want to check it out and test a bit, then go onto the free sample page. Go check it out. Just enroll for free. Go and figure out whether or not these reports are for you. Links to subscribe to all of this is in the comment section or the description. And guys, as usual, thanks for watching all the way. Thank you for your support. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Peace.